Oh, it's really quiet. Is that static or rain? I can't tell. Anyway, today we're playing 88 Needle, Alabama. Let's go. We're in Alabama, guys. Sweet home Alabama. So there's actually none of that in this game, hopefully. I'm actually filming this the day before August 8th. Oh! Apocalypse. Today's the last day, and it would have been nice to see the blue sky one last time instead of this thick fog, but oh well. What do you mean the last day? Okay. Ah. Ooh. I reckon it's gonna be a busy day. I've got many of folks to say my farewells to. Am I planning to kill myself? Hadn't. I'm fit for these long walks. My old legs are worn out. Oh. It's a point click. Alright. The way I came from, I cannot go back. Yeah. I'll go meet the Angle family first and spend some time with little Susie. She's about 12 and my most favorite child in the world. She's as pretty as a Georgia peach. Always has a big smile. I often see her reading through this window here. She's been helping me to read and write, but that gibberish just don't stick in my head no more. I done learn how to write my name a few times, but the letters always turn upside down. Oh, I'll take these here flowers for Susie. That always makes her merry. Guess I go too far. Hello? Oh. This is where the town children play around this time of day, but I don't see a sign of them. I don't see no sign of them. They usually play out here raising Cain, but not today. One time some town children were playing near this pond and they saw something moving about it. I don't think you should play in something you see something moving in. When the children came closer, they saw an escaped black prisoner. I reckon he got shot while trying to escape, because he was bleeding an awful lot. Right away, the children started throwing rocks at him. What the fuck? One of the stones landed right in his eye and blinded him. This area was just puddles of red. That didn't stop the rascals, though. They laughed and kept on pelting until Susie came out. She gave the kids hell for what they'd done and made them scramble away. Susie told the prisoner to hide in this here shed. She told no one about him but me. Boy, he was in terrible shape. Well, the guards saw the bloodstains from here and figured that he was hiding nearby. They found him in the shed. What happened next? Hey, is anybody home? It's me, old Godfrey. Look, I got some flowers for little Susie. That's funny. Why ain't they home? I'll come back after I meet some other folks. What am I planning for? My death? There's George Grady's house over yonder. Let me go say goodbye to him. Goodbyes to him. Multiple of them. Anything else? Oh, yes. Where is everyone today? The whole town feels doggone quiet. Hasn't, has, ain't so much as a mouse stirring about. Maybe everyone's at the temple, but I don't hear nobody well, I didn't hear about no ceremony or gathering today. They're all dead. Hey George, you home? It's me, Godfrey. George and his missus been trying for a child almost 6 years with no luck. George shared his plight with our Lord, Father Glorious, and was told to bring his lovely wife to the temple for a divine blessing, with the Father himself. Well, that was almost 9 months ago, and would you know that she gave birth to a healthy boy? It's the pastor. He's murdering people. Just the other day, I seen George here telling some folks about how the town had fuck. Oh my god, this accent is doing things to my mouth. Um, fuck. Just the other day, I seen George here telling some of the folks about how the town ain't gon' put up with the lies no more. He said the trust is broken and that we all ought to start an uprising. We've been believed, we've been lied to for too long. Those were his words. About what? Okay, now the music stopped. There's Miss Wilson's place. She's an old widow that took care of me for many years. She told me about the religion, but says that I ain't allowed to go to no rituals 'cause they're evil. She's a fine cook too, but can't nobody cook like her. Can't nobody cook like her. Just the other day, she brought so much food to the ceremony that it'd make a man's mouth water. Tarts and cakes and sandwiches. I don't know about all. I don't know what all. Okay. So far, everybody's gone. Of course, none of us townsfolk got much to eat, 'cause the temple elders got served first. And then the temple guards had their fill. By and when it was our turn, there weren't nothing left except crumbs. Is that what you're being lied to about? Oh. This house is decaying and in shabby condition. I shouldn't. I should have listened to Miss Wilson and painted it when I had the chance, but my brain can't remember so good. It's the least I could have done to repay her for her kindness. Oh, window. Hey, there she is, sitting in the window. Howdy there, Miss Wilson. Maybe she'll offer me a cup of cocoa. That's that's my favorite treat, and it'd be swell to enjoy for one last time into the house. Oh, okay. Open up, miss. I've been thinking about you since morning. It's good to finally see someone in town. Ma'am, it's me, Godfrey. Saw you in the window. Hello? Why, gee willikers, something ain't right. Has it happened already? Oh, did you already know about the apocalypse? Where am I going? Think I'll go see Ernest. He's a black servant over at Judge Ravenel's house. Even it, Even if there is a ceremony at the temple, sure as heaven, Ernest ain't gonna be invited. In memory of Catherine Wilson, widow of John Wilson. That big place is Judge Revenel's house. He's also one of the founding members of the temple. They say they say I'm gonna they say him and Father Gloria's been friends since childhood. Oh shit. That ain't good. I keep going. Signs of life. The judge and the father of all, was both just a couple of regular farmers from Needle, Alabama. But now look at them. One of the county judges, and the others are dear Father Glorious. Leave it in thy Lord's hands, for thou can't grasp his ways, Father Glorious said that in his sermon just the other day. Faint sound of leaves rustling in the wind makes it feel so lonesome and mournful, as if the whole world's dead and gone. Hopefully Ernest tell me where the whole town's gone to. I'd like to say my goodbyes, 'cause I ain't no knowing what's gonna happen tomorrow. Jesus. Yeah, I know. I hear them. Where are they coming from? I keep going, I guess. I'm gonna get shot. Hello, Ernest? Oh, I didn't get to see it. Oh my lord, who's shooting it? Who's shooting and firing? Stop firing! It's me, oh Godfrey! God, doggone it! Who's out there? Better hide behind the house before I get shot. That is a good idea. I've got to sit tighter and be quieter. I'm trembling all over and I can't stop shaking. Look, my hands just almost quiver. I can't see your hands. Dear Lord, please save me. I hope I'm safe here. I've just gotta hush and not make so much of a squeak. I told George Grady that he's asking for muck by raising too many questions. By raising too many questions. Don't he know what will become of all the others that doubted the Father? The temple's got ears everywhere. And now look at the dreaded mess we're in. So the temple's business. I can't hear him no more. I think the guards went back to the temple. Try again, see if Ernest's home. Oh, the heart's thumping too fast. It ain't good for me. Please, Ernest, I beg you, open up. I'm terrified. I ain't breathed so. Oh. Looks like there's somebody here. Need to find a place to hide quick. Why are they shooting at me? Hang it. It's locked. This one's locked too. Please make them go away. Let me go have a peek. May God curse those darn guards. I reckon they went back to the temple. That still don't explain where all the folks are. Everyone's gone and disappeared into the fog for all I know. Farmer Jim's lives in that house yonder, and that's his barn next door. He's a firm and fervent believer, and Father Glorious never misses a sermon or ceremony at the temple. He's always dressed in his fine white cotton for all the rituals. Says he been to all of them. I swore I heard footsteps. Say at least his horse and cows ought to be here. Seeing any sign of life, be heaven sent for my soul. I feel terrible alone and empty. There ain't no animals, no horse, no horse and cows. One of Jim's cows had a calf that was recently sacrificed. Jim would have personally sacrificed his old trusted steed if the father asked so. Oh, the temple is evil. That's why the widow told him not to go to any of the ceremonies. Many of the townsfolk and Loki had given Jim the cold shoulder recently. George Grady told us to be careful what we tell him, because Jim's only loyal to the temple. Jim has changed an awful lot since he became a believer. He won't, he weren't like this. I thought I saw something. Okay. A rotten stench is coming from that shed. I wonder what remains Jim put in there, but it's decomposing and giving off a rancid smell. No use to this firewood no longer. It's been lying here untouched for years. The whole town, the whole town is supposed to gather in this field tomorrow for the decisive day. Father Glorious had his heavenly vision in the same field more than 20 years ago. Angels came down and gave him the holy revelation. That, that was the regular day. That was the day regular old Avery Cartwright became my Father Glorious. Do I get to look in the shed? Fuck, I don't get to look in the shed. I often sit here and stare at the sky to maybe catch a glimpse of those angels. They say Father Glorious's black hair instantly turned ashen white after his encounter. Ashes aren't white. Ashes are gray. I remember once meeting Jim after the first of the rituals. He had a crazy look in his eyes, like that of a madman or a murderer. He smelled the smoke and burning, kept chanting glory, 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 like a raving lunatic. Became feverish after that for almost a week. That used to be Father Glorious's house, but now it belongs to Warden Henry. What the fuck was that? What is that? I don't trust this house. Say that's a good idea. I'll head to Cartwright Prison. Maybe they'll know what the deal is. I'm sure the prisoners is still around. See, I ain't no dummy that everyone makes me out to be. Where am I going then? Oh, that's what I was hearing. Chapter 2, Demons. Made a long walk to the prison. Can't believe this has been my daily walk for years. My legs ain't what they used to be. You still work here? Hey Billy, it's our old friend Godfrey. I ain't reporting for work, so I don't get no ideas, you hear? Open up quick. I gotta tell you about the town and how everyone's gone missing. This is our suspicion. Ain't no sign of him. Well, Billy's always been a lazy slouch, so maybe he's napping off somewhere. Like, I can. It's locked from the outside. It's locked from the outside. That's what that is. It's locked from the outside. Are they all locked from the outside? I've been a janitor in this prison for many years, and Billy was always talking my ear off with all the gossip in the world. He talked so darn much that he even told me the prisoners about the datum. So some of the prison. That's not good. Oh good lord, I ain't seen a single person all day, and it sounds like a damn dog Stonewall, and Stonewall is alive. That damn dog Stonewall is alive and well. I hope to gracious he hadn't come with us tomorrow. Tomorrow's supposed to be the day of reckoning. I hate all the guard dogs here, but none of them more vicious than that blasted Stonewall. Rumor has it he was brought in from Cuba. He was confined as a puppy and starved daily starved. Given a snack only when he chased a black person. Terrible. He was beaten so often that his skin was thickened. And now he goes rabid just at the sight of a black man. Many a whom he's maimed and eaten. Why, he's become so violent that they almost never take the muzzle off him, or even bat the warden. It's a bad luck. It was my bad. It's my bad luck one day that I was cleaning near the Candleberry Inn. Billy had forgotten to put the muzzle back on him. Well, that god-darn Stonewall bit through a chunk of my left leg, and I ain't been able to walk right since. Oh, your legs really aren't what they used to be. They're gone. There's always 2 guards up on that tower, but ain't no sign of them. Billy told me that those guards killed Abe some weeks ago when he was trying to escape. He was older than 80 and would have known he was older than 80 and would have known he'd get shot. Maybe that was his purpose. Hello. Oh, up. Boy, this place is just getting shabbier and crummier since they fired me. Billy tells me that I was the best janitor that this place ever had. But now it's falling apart. Why, just look at all the decay everywhere. I remember this. They took it on the day they took it. They took it on the day they did work on Professor's head. Even Judge Ravenel showed up in person. Strange thing to celebrate. Uh, Oh, back. Letter. To the Honorable Father Glorious, I had written you earlier as the proposed leasing for more convicts. As you are aware, our company has been leasing convicts from Cartwright Prison and have been paying our fair dollar value for them. Not to mention my personal donations to the temple. However, our request for 300 more convicts has not been met, and we are in dire need of more blacks. Of the 400 we originally released, more than half of them have perished. Work on the railroads has drastically slowed. Our shareholders are not happy. I beg that you pardon my bluntness for the last time. Please send us more blacks, or we shall look elsewhere. J.L. Smith for the railroad company. Uh, oh, this way. Let me go walk to Warden Henry and see what he figures. Most of the townsfolk say that Warden Henry ain't a bad person, but I disagree. Even when he was a plantation owner, he was well known across the county about how brutally he treated his slaves. Warden Henry was then a colonel during the Civil War, and I believe that further hardened him into who he is today. No black prisoners so much as moves when they hear Warden Henry is coming through. So they're selling black prisoners to the railroad for workers. Basically, it's, you know, prison slaves. It has been It has been brought to my attention that Alabama State Senator Robert Barnes is forming a special commission to investigate claims of abuse at the prison. I'm convinced it was leaked by the detestable smart aleck from Ohio to see to it that he gets what he is deserving. Uh, Controlling deaths and torture in the prison for some days, and for heaven's sake, have the whole facility cleaned. The English language does not have the sufficient words to express the uttermost stench in the prison. Clean up the vile prisoners and make them at least presentable before the commissioner comes. I am pressing some legislatures, and even Avery to put an end to this dastardly commission. Therefore, till I hear from them, I remain your most truly Judge Thomas Ravenel. They were in on it. I see. Oh, what's this? The office is mighty comfortable compared to the rest of the rundown prison. I'd sit here sometimes while cleaning if the warden weren't in, away from all the chaos and cruelty of the cells. Oh, my dearest friend Avery, I pray this letter finds you in the best health. I have not been regular at the temple these last few weeks, but it is only because I have been busy sentencing so many new convicts for our mutual benefit. I endeavor to I endeavor to bring to your attention the bothersome Senator Barnes and the commission he is forming to audit the prison. He must quell We must quell this commission through a protest by the townspeople. I propose that you heat up the town against the blacks. Perhaps a rape accusation followed by a ritual will get the town into a frenzy. Tell the town that Barnes the Commission want to set all blacks and rapists and murderers free onto the women and children. P.S. Young Mary has turned 11. It is quite beautiful. I shall be most glad if you arrange a tryst between us during the next ceremony. Ew, Thomas, what the fuck? Bro, ew. What does this have to do with the devil worship and the demons? I'm confused. There's a growing fear in me that it's already happened because Billy and the warden ain't here either. What'll become of old me if everyone's already gone? The reckoning has come. You are here to remain because you are not worthy. No. Black prisoners got to be in their cell because Father Glorious said many a time that it'd only be us white folks up there. Let me check on the cell blocks. This cell block feels dead and hollow, just like everything else today. I always hear cries, groans, and screams here, so the silence feels spooky and depressing. It's sweltering hot and I'm dried up thirsty. I'll sit down here after I figure out what's going on. In here? Where am I going? Is this a cell? It is. I didn't enjoy cleaning these toilets one bit. They'd be overflowing with filth and the smell was putrid. But I did it dutifully because I'm a good janitor. And they're overflowing. No one's cleaning this shit. Literally. There's always around 20 convicts crabbed in this here cell, sweating in the scorching humidity. One of the prisoners, Titus, was kept here and was always friendly to me. They're all gone. No one's here. He used to be a slave and didn't have no place to go once he was freed after the war. One day he was sitting under a tree minding his own business and the sheriff arrested him for vagrancy. I didn't do anything wrong! What the fuck? Judge Revenall sentenced Titus to 5 years for that. He was leased out to a plantation a few months after, where he and 10 other convicts was told to clear swamp down in Jackson County. I heard that they was changed for days in that knee-deep pool of muck. Many got malaria from the mosquitoes and ticks constantly eating away at them. Further into the cells. The Alabama sun got Titus in them so thirsty. They was drinking from filthy swamp water. They've been standing in and wasting in for days. Most of them died from sickness, but Titus made it out. Well, he was sent back here just a couple weeks later, 'cause the plantation owner's missus said he followed behind her one evening. That spooked her and he complained to her husband. Titus told me he just wanted to ask her for some water and didn't know what he had done wrong. A few days later, Titus was back. Father Glorious told all of us at his sermon that a young black man had dared touch and rape a white woman, and that he'd be brought to divine justice. They held a ritual and Titus was invited, but I didn't go, because I promised Miss Wilson that I would. I never saw him after that. He was no older than 15. 15? Oh no. Hello? I don't want to listen to an execution. Whenever I'm in this cell, it makes my heart sick and blue. There was a prisoner here, and he became a friend of mine. His name was Isaac, but everyone called him Professor. Wasn't even from the South. He was a newspaper writer, all the way from Ohio. He was the only school black man I ever did see. Well, he had come down to the South to write about how things was going 10 years after the Civil War, and the judge didn't like him snooping around the town. Oh. Most respected Senator Barnes, I take the liberty of describing to you the deplorable conditions as I witnessed of prisoners at Cartwright Prison in Needle, Alabama. Convicts are brutally tortured and tormented on a daily basis. They are then leased out to corporations for a profit in the form of legal slavery. Work conditions at these companies are deplorable, and many convicts are affected by exhaustion, malaria, dysentery, and gunshot wounds. Nearly no leased convict ever makes it back to the prison. Senator, I urge you and your fellow Alabama legislatures to probe the disgraceful exploitation that is taking place at this prison. Judges, sheriffs, and the police are part of the racket. You will likely not receive more letters from me, since I fear I will be leased out soon, or worse. Isaac Jones. So we got put in the prison because he was investigating all the shit happening. Professor was executed and was accused of stealing a chicken and sent here by Judge Revenel for 10 years on the account of grand theft. I never quite figured why a well-to-do man would steal a chicken, but it was his words against the white farmers. One time he got to telling other prisoners about how things was in Ohio, starting filling their heads about mumbo-jumbo like freedom and rights for blacks. Well, Billy ran his big mouth to the warden about this, even though I'd told the professor to stay quiet about such ideas. Is he dead? No. And the next day, all the prisoners were brought in this area, and the guards dragged Professor out of his cell. Judge Revenel even came and watched. Was given a nice seat. All the rest of us had to stand and watch. Professor was tied down to this here chair. The doctor was brought in. Oh no! I'm not reading that. I read it! No! They killed him in front of everybody. No! Professor was never the same. Oh my god. Oh no, they didn't even kill him! He survived! He survived an electric chair. Bro, they just did it to fuck him up. That's mean. That's terrible. These sad memories is making me miserable. I just want to be at the sermon at temple where Father Glorious always gives us hope. Yeah, he's in on this too, idiot. I used to like sitting on this ledge during my work. Mercy's sake, that stone. What's that noise? Am I running? Wait. Hello? Starting with pain with those fangs pierced into my all the way to my bone. 3 minutes to pull them off of me, but it ripped the meat off my leg. Now what? I've cleaned up the mess from time to time after they used Stonewall on prisoners. One time the body was barely joined at the head because he'd eaten clean through the neck. Took me all day to clean all that mess and blood out of that cell block. All of the terrible memories of Stonewall was flooded back to me. 5 prisoners were once planning an escape. Morgan rounded up all of them and stripped them down naked. They chained their hands up and let Stonewall and a couple of other dogs gorge themselves. So, can your footsteps get closer? I'm gonna hide in one of these cells. Hello? Why is it so dark in this one? Why is there a void in this room? I can't, Jesus Christ, that dog is huge. Can't hide here all day. He'll smell me out. He's tasting my blood. No, he won't go far. He won't go for just my leg today. I'm dead. Afraid to leave this cell right now. Sounds like he's gone far to the other end of the prison. So I'll head this other way. I got to stay on my toes, 'cause he could be lurking in the shadows. Looks like some of the prisoners got scribbling tomorrow's date in the prison. Billy probably never told them that they gonna be left behind during the apocalypse. Father Glorious always said, "Only you, the true believer, shall ascend to the heavens." Well, it feels like these guys were true believers. And considering all the noise, it seems that Father Glorious was one who got left behind. Boy, I get downright giddy just thinking about the promised land that Father's told us of, where the cream and honey flows in streams, where the ripest of fruit hangs on every tree, where it's only us believers in the green hills and meadows. Yes, many of the folks got doubts about Father, especially that George Grady, but I still dream of the day when the angels fly us to heaven. Can we get out of this prison now? I don't want to be in here anymore. Up. Somebody really had to talk some sense into George. Why, the other day, I mean, I mean, him and many other town folks was saying they gonna need lots of help against the temple guards. Hello? Oh. And dog my cats, George said the craziest thing I ever heard in all my days. That the town ought to free all the black prisoners so they can help take down the temple guards. He's gone plumb crazy. What exactly does he figure he gonna do? That he's just gonna march into the prison and open all the cells? I think that might be his plan. Although I think the dogs might have something to do about that. I guess George thinks it's gonna be as simple a simple walk in the park. He probably think he's easily gonna come down here this wall. And supposing he hides among the trees and these here burrows so the guys don't see him. And suppose he somehow gets up this wall and climbs through this here window. Maybe he does. Maybe he did. Am I gonna do that? No. And once George gets in, I suppose he gonna open up all the cells and free the black prisoners, and convince him to march went with him to the temple. He really believes I'm gonna give him the extra set of keys that I still got. What does he expect? The prison guards and the dogs all be asleep? They gonna welcome him with open arms? I'm really going back in the prison. That dog's gonna kill me. I don't like it here. Don't you know the prison guards will be shooting and firing at every last of them? It'd be a bloody massacre. If all the convicts ever did get out, I can only imagine that they'd do to the prison guards. I can only imagine what they'd do to the prison guards. Maybe a group of them would even go after Stonewall for all the torture he'd done. Hell, at the end of it, you'd probably find George Grady's body among all the dead, riddled with bullets, even if the prisoners did get out. No, 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 all this can't happen. Someone better talk some smarts into that boy, George, for heaven's sake. I'll have a word with him if I can find him, that is. I'll find my way out the prison now. Ain't nobody here except Stonewall. No one would ever hear my wails for help if he attacked me. Oh god, there's a fucking rat. Still stands chills down my spine when I come in these cells. 'Cause that's where they used to keep Moses. I feel like spirits wandering and haunt this area. Moses? He used to be a slave and had told others that on the plantation about how his ancestors used to do some kind of witchcraft or voodoo many years ago. But he didn't believe in that gibberish himself. I'm following the rat. Plantation Moses was at had almost 100 pigs. They all got swine fever once. The sick hogs would just lie down all day and huddle together in a pile. Most of them vomited with high fevers and diarrhea. A few weeks later, their back legs stopped working, and all the hogs in the plantation died of illness. Plantation owners got to hearing these rumors about Moses' witch ancestors and accused him of putting an evil spell on the pigs on his farm. George Revenel sent him for witchcraft. What the fuck? Moses was sent here, although he said he didn't know nothing himself about witchcraft. That was only his ancestors. A few months he was here, many prisoners got sick. Cholera. Again, people started blaming Moses for the sickness, although he'd also gotten sick. He almost died. I don't like it here. Many prisoners died from the disease. They cleaned up themselves after the piles of dead bodies was disposed. I didn't want to get no nasty sickness. Praise the glorious Father that I didn't get sick during that time. The warden decided that it was best to lynch Moses, because he didn't want him pulling no witchcraft in the convict camp elsewhere. Father Glorious agreed, and it was settled to have him lynched in the town for the whole public's viewing. Moses was none too pleased. Said he did nothing but to nobody. That was tying the noose around his neck. He said he cursed the prison, and when they was tying the noose around his neck, he said he'd cursed the town and prison. He cursed the prison and the whole town of Needle, and that his ancestors' evil spirits would forever haunt him. I was there when they hung him, since it's my job to clean up afterwards. The branch that he was hanging him broke during the lynching, and he fell from a height, which broke his legs. Where'd the music go? Why does it look like that? They dragged his broken body back to a different tree and hung him again. This time it worked. The townsfolk gave him applause, and I especially remembered the beaming smile on Farmer Jim's face. The memory of his hanging body with his eyes bulging out haunts me every day. I always fear that curse has put the demons and wicked spirits on this prison in the town. Everything's gone straight to hell in 3 shakes of a sheep's tail, as the saying goes. His curse that this town would suffer has probably come true. Goodness gracious sake, I got to go to the temple and tell Father Glorious about all this. He and he alone can save us. That's what he always says at the sermon. Angels. There hadn't been much time left for the day, and I must tell Father Glorious that Moses' curse has come true. I'm drained from all the walks that I must endure. Thank the Lord I'm far enough from the prison now. I often wish that temple temple weren't built on such a high cliff, but I appreciate it today, 'cause I ain't got to worry about the stone wall following me all the way out here. Father Glorious had the temple built on a cliff so that he could watch over us for our protection. That's There's many a dangers out there for us plain simple townsfolk, and Father says the biggest one is the black people. Since the war ended, we've been told that the blacks need to be put in prison and kept inside, or else they'll run rampant on our women and children. And all that, Father Glorious tells us, in return for this protection is that we donate our earnings to the temple, which I've been gladly doing. I remember being in this exact spot just the other day. I was sitting on this here rock with little Susie and the other children playing nearby. A couple of children had put pine seeds under this tree and was waiting behind it with basket. They was trying to catch foxes and trying to catch fox squirrels. Well, they finally trapped one, and they hollered with joy. I'm gonna prick this twig through its mouth, not the other end," said one of the rascals, "and I'm gonna start a fire with it, like we see in the rituals the other day." "And the other," said the other. Susie picked up a rock and threw it at the children's feet before they could do anything. That made 'em scoot away, and Susie freed the squirrel. She's my most favorite child, always laughing and always smiling. Her big bright smile. I hadn't heard her laugh in a long time, though. She was helping an escaped prisoner, Temple found out. Soon after, it was announced that she'd been chosen as the new Lady Bliss. I was overjoyed for her. Little Susie's been chosen to be the new— What? She's 12! Father Glorious said it's his holy duty to get married 80 times by the apocalypse, and Susie would be one of the ladies. Remember seeing her at the wedding ceremony. She looked like an angel, and she walked down the aisle, sat next to Father Glorious, looked into her eyes. She looked back at me with the saddest eyes. I wish I could have comforted her in the moment. I seen her 3 months later at the next ceremony, when Father Glorious was marrying the new young Lady Bliss. Susie stood behind the fine throne alongside all the other Lady Bliss. She looked different than the other girls, so she weren't smiling. Her eyes had an empty, lost look. I waved at her, but I figured she didn't notice. The fuck? I think she was possessed. Wait a minute, that sounds like Susie. Susie, my child, where are you? Susie, it's really you. I'm so glad I found you. I can't wait to tell your parents I've been worried sick about you. Parents, they've been worried sick about you. I've been asking the whole town since I hadn't heard from you, but they always turn the topic when I say your name. Oh, he fucking killed her. Your mom and pa have been looking awfully heartbroken. Is it like they don't even look like the same folks anymore? Those sunken eyes. Oh yeah, he fucking killed her. There she goes. I sit down for water? Is that what he said? Hello? So the townsfolk been thinking about taking a boat and leaving Needle for good. It's too late for that now, 'cause there's the big days tomorrow. Tomorrow on 8/8/88, the whole town's gonna gather at the big field, and all of us gonna drink the heavenly milk. Ew! And the town's children will be the first to drink it. Ew. Then they'll cover their faces with white cloth, lay down in the field, wait the angels to take them to heaven. Is this a fucking Jonestown? The blank heavenly milk is poison, and it's gonna kill all of them. After that, as townsfolk will drink it, and finally Father Glorious at the end. I get slap happy thinking about the final moment as we all lay on the field with our face covered. Some weeks ago, we all brought to the field, practiced the last day. We was given regular milk, not the special heavenly milk they've been making and storing about down in the prison. It's poison. It's poison. Wow, I'll be. Where the heck is the town? Where the heck all the temple's guards? There's always a small army of them guarding these temple gates, but ain't no trace of them today. A whole town's afraid of those bastards. They wear ugly green robes and frightening white wigs. Worst part is the masks they wear with long noses hang down to their chins. Big circles for plague doctors? Those for their eyes and giant smiles that stretch to their ears. And they carry powerful rifles. No one knows who's behind the masks either. I've heard that one must pass many vile and despicable rituals to become a temple guard. I can't even think about those sick customs. I had a nightmare about this exact spot the other night. It was dreadful. Can you stop that? It's dreadfully scary and it really shook me up. Only thing that gave me peace was that it ain't possible in real life. I dreamt that there were a whole cavalry of temple guards here, more than 50 of them. They was standing all at alert, ready to shoot, shouting orders to everyone, and taking positions. There was terrifying panic in their voices, such that I can't fathom. There over yonder, a mass of people was slowly approaching and hiding amongst the tree bushes. Black faces and white faces, prisoners and townsfolk all together. So Grady's plan makes out it worked this time. And the mass of people kept marching forward, 100 of them. That's when the temple guards started firing and kept firing until this place was heavy with smoke rifles. Bodies upon dead bodies lay in wake. Black bodies and white bodies, prisoners and townsfolk. Stop that! Jesus Christ. Blood streamed in the puddles from the corpses, but the masses kept coming forward, stepping over bodies, trampling over the almost dead. And a few of the guards ran out of bullets and tried to escape from the grown mob. One guard climbed up this here pole, but slipped, fell on the rocks with a bone crushing thud, and the mob beat on his dead body until his green robes darkened with blood. The guard's mask was broken, and when he fell, and I distinctly remember the nightmare that it was the dead face of Farmer Jim. In the nightmare, I found myself as part of the mob, and there was no black or white in this mob. It was just one big, breathing, heaving, seething monster. And the temple guards shot away at the monster. There was no stopping it. There was just too much bottled-up rage and power in it. Rage at the lies, rage at the torture, rage at the injustice, rage at the exploitation, rage at the abuse, rage at simply being made a fool. But the strong rifles did damage to the beast. Countless human carcasses lay all over this place. Some with blown off limbs, others half dead, crying for help in agony. The crowd kept on coming forward to get the guards. And in the nightmare, some of the scariest parts was what happened when the townsfolk got a hold of the guards. The townsfolk didn't have any rifles. They only brought whatever tools from their homes, like knives, hammers, and axes. The mob pounced on a temple guard, and the townsfolk mashed in his face with iron rods and iron griddles. The townswoman was repeatedly stabbed in the body, then repeatedly stabbed on his body in hysteria on this here wall, all the while screaming like a rabid animal. In another part of the dream, I saw a group of barefoot prisoners overpowering a couple of guards and grab their rifles from them. The prisoner didn't know how to fire a gun, but mistakenly pulled the trigger and shot the guard through the stomach at point-blank range. The force of the shot pushed the prisoner off the feet, and he flew down this ledge. As for the guard, the shot almost blew his body into two halves. And the crazed crowd just lurched forward. They was covered with mitts of blood and dead prisoners and dead townsfolk and dead guards. They was drenched in sweat from the sweltering humidity, and their eyes had the had the look of pure lunacy. Some folks had brought with them firelight torches, and they lit ablaze the dead bodies of the guards. They hollered and laughed like wild children, as if there wasn't anything funny about it. At the end of the dream, all the guards had been killed. The prisoners and townsfolk sat here, all in complete silence. Then one of the townsmen broke out in a loud sob, and the rest of the town folks followed and mourned the loss of the town children. Other fellow townsfolk, and oh, their hope. Others cried for their newly found freedom. It's strange that I have this same dream almost every night, and I always wake up screaming and crying from it. It wasn't easy. It weren't easy. But I finally made it to the temple. I'm already, I'm already starting to feel peace in my mind, 'cause I've arrived at my most favorite place. I wished everyone could see how grand the temple is. The lovely marble on the floors is from a far-off country. The fine wooden roofs all the way from Oregon, and the stained glass mural is by some fancy artist up north. I'm gonna blow down. I'm going. I'm going at bow down at Glorious Father Glorious's feet, even longer than we usually do, 'cause I'm so delighted to see him. I can finally tell him how everyone's gonna miss it. I'm sure he'll find a solution. They're all here, aren't they? I wonder if they'll let me into the temple, though. There's been too much tension between the town and temple recently. And the tension been taking a toll on poor Father Glorious. At a sermon some days ago, he said that there were traitors among us. He broke down crying, asking if we lost our faith in him. We all shouted a resounding no, and told him that he is our Savior. How could we ever lose our faith in him? Thankfully, that cheered him up, and he was all smiles the next minute. Temple's on fire! Oh. Oh my lord! The temple's on fire! Oh Lord in mercy! Help! Help! Somebody help! I lost the accent. Our holy temple is on fire. Oh sweet Lord of mercy! The whole temple's on fire. It's all burned down to hell. Damn that George Grady and the rest of the non-believers who's been planning this. They burnt it down. They really burnt it down. Where's Father Glorious? Where's all the ladies blessed? God almighty, what should I do? There's just nothing left no more. And there ain't a soul here to help. Too much blood, sweat, and tears went into building this temple, and many blacks died during its construction. Father Glorious said it would be the last structure standing during the apocalypse, and now it's already gone. Don't go inside! Wow, this is where the townsfolk would sit on the floor when Father Glorious delivers a sermon. It was only a few days ago when he was preaching and getting ready for our last day. And this is where Father Glorious stands on his mighty purple throne. His many wives standing behind him, and current Lady Bliss standing beside him. And behind him, the mosaic showed Father's encounter with the angels. There's nothing there now. And these here special rooms, none of us townsfolk are allowed in them, are only for Father's special friends like Judge Rivenel, the sheriff, and other big officials. They are always accompanied by one of the young ladies Bliss. And now it's all been burnt down to dust by George and his merry band of non-believers. Y'all ain't coming to heaven with us tomorrow. You can burn and scorch here during the apocalypse. tomorrow, how is any of us going to the heavens of glorious, to the heavens of glorious ain't here. What's going to happen tomorrow on the big day? That's all waiting for us. I think you're all gonna die. Are all of us, honest to God believers, also gonna burn in fires when the apocalypse starts? Are we to suffer for the acts of those doggone non-believers that did this? No, no, no. I've been running all over Hell's half acre. Oh, Hell's half acre, preparing for this big day tomorrow. I done waiting patiently all these years to go to heaven and taste the streams of honey and the cream of the finest wine. And be in the green hills away from this cursed stinking town. Old Needle, cursed Dagnab prison, and all the dead bodies and torture, and I'm getting dizzy. I can't think. I'm too old, and I'm thirsty, and I'm drained, and I'm getting dizzy. Oh, I'm gone. Hello? I'm awake. God, what happened? That Susie scream. Where am I? Where am I? I must passed out. It's already night. Susie, where are you? I gotta find her. She's in danger. Well, at least the fire stopped. Burned itself out before it burned me alive. She's a strong girl. I ain't like her to scream. She helped an escaped prisoner, knowing darn well what had happened to her family and herself. Her ma and pa was beaten up by guards in front of the whole town and in front of Susie. Her parents only agreed to the marriage after them threatened them with much worse face to her. Last time I saw her at the temple, she was standing behind the throne with the other ladies' bliss. She dropped the letter for me, secretly picked it up. When I bowed at Father's feet, gave the letter to Grady, 'cause he's one of the only folks in town who can read. I don't know what it said, but I remember seeing the color leave his face after he read it. He wrote a reply and asked me to give it to Susie, but I hadn't seen her since. Based on Susie's letter, George called a secret town meeting late at night. That's when he proposed his silly idea of freeing the prisoners. Oh, after the meeting, when I was sitting alone at home, I heard a knock on the door. Well, lo and behold, it was none other than Farmer Jim, and he brought along a fresh bottle of moonshine. I stopped drinking many years ago, 'cause Miss Wilson says the devil's in that bottle. Well, maybe I did have a wee bit here and there, when she's gone to bed early, and Billy slid me a few sips every time we had a hard day at the prison. Anyways, that no good Father Jim wheedled me into having some moonshine with him, and I had too much to drink. I told him stuff about the meeting that I ain't ought to have. I'm sure Father Jim went and told the temple about the townsfolks having doubts about the apocalypse. I cussed my damn self for spilling the beans about that meeting. Dear Mr. George, I dearly pray you read my letter. As I had written, you must do all you can to stop that town from drinking the heavenly milk. The town has been lied to about everything. I beg you, please, please save the people. The temple has started suspecting me. Give my love to Ma and Pa. Susie. I wish to heaven I would have learned to read when Susie was trying to teach me, but I always kept forgetting everything. I ain't got time to figure what this letter says. Judging by the moon, it's already past midnight. That means the apocalypse is upon us. Well, the angels hadn't come unless Father reads his special prayer. And there's only one place the mob could have taken him. I got to find him lickety-split before they do. What happened to finding Susie? I'll leave these flowers here. Flowers I picked for Susie here. Is it chapter 4? Dragged myself down the hill and made it to the farms that lead back to the town. I'm going as fast as I can, but something ain't feeling right. I gotta stay positive. Everything's gonna be fine. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Those dagnab fools burned down the temple, but they'd never do nothing to Father Glorious. They would never lay a finger on him. Why, he'd spent his life for our benefit, looking over us, protecting us, and preparing us for today. Whatever misunderstanding the towns had, he'd still our Father Glorious. So I'm sure he won't harm him. It's interesting because he doesn't know anything about the letters that we've read. No, they ain't gonna do what has done to Titus. I promised Miss Wilson I wouldn't go to no ritual. Gosh darn it, I went to the one Titus was invited to. What they do to Titus? I saw when the townsfolk dragged Titus blindfolded through these meadows in their white robes while chanting glory, glory, glory. And I seen when they brought him to the big kiln they called the Hellfire. And I seen when Father Jim lit the fire and townsfolk sat on benches. And his Father Glorious read from the holy book. I remember seeing the horror, the terror on Titus's blindfolded face. You could smell the blackened smoke. And he must have known that it was coming. He was tied to a stake, screaming and kicking. He was carried into the raging fire that swallowed him up. All of us just sat there and watched, even the town children. And that's where they taken Father now. They go and tie him to a stake. They go light at the fire. And those non-believing bastards are gonna burn him alive. There's gonna be nothing left of Father Glorious but his charged body and ashes. I'm losing it again. I've got to breathe and be calm. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Everything's gonna be fine. He will be waiting too darn long for this day. I'm going to find Father Glorious soon. He'll be dressed up in his fine white robe. And soon as dawn, the town bells will toll, and all the townsfolk congregate in the field. There'll be joy to everyone's faces, excitement that will all soon fly away to heaven, and many of them folks will be looking at the sky, try and see the big bright light that the angels shine. And when everyone's gathered, Father Glorious will read his final sermon, and he'll remind us how blessed we are to be believers. For only will ascend the promised land. And for the non-believers, the blacks, they'll be destroyed by hails and fire, and everything will be devoured by the blaze of the apocalypse. We'll look down from the sky, see this sad old world burning. And when the final sermon's complete, and the townsfolk have applauded, the temple's guards will bring out the heavy kegs filled with heavenly milk. And first all the town's children will be lined up, and they'll be given a glass of milk. They'll be told to drink even if it tastes foul. And after that, their ma and pa will tie white cloths around their faces and lay the children down at the feet. And it'll be the parents' turn to drink the milk. And then something awfully wrong. Many of the children will start screaming the most painful, heart-wrenching cries. And then more children will start wailing and screeching in complete torment. And many of the children will grab their heads. They'll grab their heads and chests with extreme pain, the likes that they've never felt. And many of the white cloths wrapped around their heads will be stained with filthy puke. The parents will run to help the children. They'll be stopped by the guards and powerful rifles. And the desperate parents will push the guards away, but the children will have already stopped screaming and crying, and they'll have fallen face first into the field, laying without breathing. The parents will finally start understanding the whole truth, and they'll fix their maniac eyes on the temple guards and Father Glorious. And Father Glorious will give the instructions to the gods. That's when they'll start firing the blasting on the town. And some will die by gunshot on the head and the chest, on the back. Others will die getting crushed as the townfolk rush to lock themselves in their houses. The guards will shoot many of the doors open and kill whomever they find inside. By and by, the guards will run out of bullets, and they'll safely take Father Glorious back to the temple. Say, I can't hear the sounds of chanting. I reckon I'm close to the mob. I better hurry and get them before they light the fire. Please don't go. Please don't do it. Y'all gonna be forgiven if you repent, and let old Father Glorious go. Even George Grady can be forgiven for plotting against Father. Damn it, I should have never given him the blasted letter from Susie. Got him real riled up. I don't even know what it said. And I should have never given Grady the extra keys to the prison. Oh, I didn't know he'd actually pull off this ridiculous idea and freed the black prisoners. Why, what in tarnation is that damn Stonewall doing here? Boy, I really lost my marbles. That dog was killed, the prisoners escaped. What about we saw it in the prison when we were there? Because the whole thing is that he probably has, memory loss. Dementia, short-term memory loss, so he doesn't remember all this stuff. I'm looking forward to this day for more than 14 years. Dutiful paying my earnings to the temple and devoting my heart and soul to Father Glorious. It's supposed to be the happiest day of our lives. The day when all our miseries would finally go away. Indeed, the apocalypse had happened on 8/8/88, just not the one he was promised. Why, what sort of milk from heaven causes little children innocent brutal death? the glorious must have had some divine reason. How could we be wrong? They already lit the fire. For the love of God, let him go. Whatever he did was likely for our benefit. Only he can take us to the promised land. Let's all forget this wretched world behind us and ascend to the paradise of the angels. I've seen too much in all that dreadful, fateful day. Too much death, too much bloodshed, too much savagery. Please take me away from here. I've been living through the same nightmare for too many years. I can't take it no longer. I've been looking all day where the townsfolk and prisoners disappeared. I finally remember where everyone is now. They all died. They're all dead and gone since years ago. Oh, the fire's empty. Whole town says I'm a dummy, 'cause I can't think so good, and I keep forgetting everything. But I ain't no different from the others. See, we all simply forget things we've seen, and we ain't never learned from them. I heard Professor telling the other prisoners one day, we forget what happens in the past. We let it repeat again and again. Nothing is going to change unless we stop forgetting. Phony, dishonest prophets will keep springing up, and sing their gospel of us against them. They'll keep dividing us for their own benefit, and we'll keep praising them and following them with eyes shut and minds closed. When are we going to start learning from the past? When are we going to open our eyes? I'm gonna just curl up here and sit for a while. I'm old and I see a hell of a lot, but ain't no mat on it. And I know darn well when I wake up tomorrow, I'm gonna forget everything and live the same day over again, just like I've been living repeatedly for the last 12 years. Wait, no, I missed it. No, I missed it. Fuck. I have to read it in the post. I'll leave it up on the screen for you guys to read. 27 years earlier? Been doing it for 27 years? Oh. Nice. Is this why I have the mines collapsed? Get the hell out of here, save yourselves. Oh, God. Godfrey, can't save you. Hurry. Get out. That's why he's forgetting things. Wow. Cartwright Prison has been permanently shut down following a damning report by Senator Barnes. Oh. The report detailed litany of abuse, torture, corruption, and convict leasing. And the majority of the prisoners were black, and many had committed mere petty crimes of those. Oh. Sightings of mysterious bright lights in the sky leaves many in awe. Small town of Trinity, witnesses say they saw a strange object described as a large bright light was hovering in the sky. Despite the many witnesses, authorities do not believe. One described it as a star was falling to the ground. Sure that wasn't the explosion from the mines collapsing? Fixed scene of mass murder and suicide in rural Alabama. Bodies were believed to be members of an obscure apocalyptic cult. Avery Cartwright being burned alive in a kiln that the cult referred to as the Hellfire. Investigations said that he had never seen such a disturbing scene of death and carnage in all his years. 50 years after Needle Alabama tragedy, former cult member reveals all. Mary Jones has detailed her traumatic childhood. Wait, it's Susie. Susie survived. She's okay. She was shot in the leg while making a harrowing escape from the temple and was rescued by authorities. That's why she disappeared. She's okay. She didn't. Man rescued 8 days after mine collapses. In a tale of tragedy and survival, a coal mine accident has. Godfrey Davis was able to make it out alive. He has severe brain damage. We will rehabilitate him and then shift him to the nearby town. With proper care, he will be able to put his traumatic experience behind him and hopefully lead a normal life. That's why he didn't remember that Susie had gone to the temple. That's why he never found out where she was. 1866. Okay, we're going back 22 years. This isn't the day of the incident, though. Stop your goddamn hollering and mooing, you stupid cowards. I'm coming. Hannah, man. Get no goddamn sleep around here? What in the world has come to? And Cartwright has to tend to these horses and cows personally. So, this is Cartwright. The war then ravaged my whole business. Those lousy no-good Yankees destroyed my land and then freed my ungrateful damn slaves. Hell, I gave those blacks food and shelter, but they betrayed me in the end. Oh. They left me the minute they could, just like she left me as soon as the money ran out. Curse all of y'all. And curse this blasted cow that just won't stop hollering. I miss the good old days just to sit in my porch watching the slaves work in the fields, hearing them say, yes, yes, every time I ask for anything. But now look at me, ain't got no more slaves, no more money, and no more family, no more goddamn respect. Alas, all I got left is a couple of cows that don't let me sleep in a rotten job in prison. Boy, whenever I get the chance, there'll be hell for all those who wrong me. I'm Avery Cartwright. I'm gonna show everybody again once I get back on my feet. I've been riding with the clan, and I've been going back to church. The Lord's gonna show me the way. So the people in the robes were the Ku Klux Klan, the white robes. Where the hell did my cows go? Where did your cows go? Hello? Is it aliens? Okay. So the actual end of the game? It is. Okay. Okay, that is the actual end of the game. Alright. So, cult, Ku Klux Klan, and a bunch of murder. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.